Welcome to Disney A, the Canadian-themed Disney travel podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Krysta.
We're coming to you live from D23 Expo.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, we are outside.
We are outside. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, and we just watched a live.
Yeah.
Let's
So that's the joke.
That's-
Anyway, yes.
Good joke.
So we're going to talk all about D23 this week because it was D23.
Yeah,
Like-
it actually still is going on right now, but we were...
All the big panels
big ones are done,
have
yeah.
wrapped up, and so we got most of the big news. The trade show's still going on. We don't get to see any of that anyway.
No.
Did watch some videos of it. Looks
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, some cool merch, and you didn't like how interested I was in the lounge fly section.
Yeah. But anyway, we are outside, so you may hear some wind in the background. We
Or
thought
a
we'd
dog.
try something a little different as summer winds down.
Yep. We've done a couple outside episodes.
Yeah.
We figure there's not too many of them left, so we may as well get one in there. Before we get to any of the D23 goodness, though, Brandon, what are you drinking this week?
I am, again, it's summer's winding down, so I'm
Yep.
trying to finish up our summer beverage selection, and it's a green tea peached hard sparkling water.
Do you like it?
I almost said iced tea, but it's not.
No.
There is tea in it, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It tastes like summer, so it's kind of out of place. So like I'm almost over summer. I'm not a pumpkin spice person.
Oh, I
but
am.
Yes.
I had my first pumpkin spice latte the other day, and I was doing a happy dance, and you were making fun of me, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm drinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, you stole my.
I did.
My beverage.
I am very happy when it is summertime, but the weather is turning, so I'm like, all right, I guess it's spooky season now.
Yeah, well, as soon as you go back to work, it seems like fall. So it is what it is.
That's right. And Brandon, what's your nerd thing this week?
Well, I mean, other than watching coverage of a fan expo,
That's pretty nerdy.
pretty nerdy. Continuing my smoker journey this week. That was fun.
What'd you make?
More roast
Yeah.
and stuff. Probably make a ham today
Yep, that's the plan.
after this. Maybe while you're editing or
Yeah,
something.
that sounds good to me.
I don't know. Stuff like that.
This is because we are recording this later than we typically do. The editing is going to be pretty minimal, so
Yeah, so it's almost like we're live on
almost
location.
like we're live on location. Well, we're on a location.
Yeah, didn't say which one.
That's true. My nerd thing is Disney Dreamlight Valley came out this week, the early access. And I've been playing that fair bit this week after work and whatnot.
Yes,
But
you've put
I've
in
enjoyed it a lot.
several hours into that.
Not as much as I want, but
I played a little bit
Yeah,
too. It's
yeah.
it's pretty fun. Very similar to Animal Crossing,
Yes.
but with Disney characters instead of
Yeah.
random animals.
and like more quests and things
Yeah.
like that. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I put a good solid dent into some of the quests, but I haven't played it quite as much as I wanted to. But
Scrooge McDuck is better than Tom Nook.
Scrooge McDuck is the perfect casting for the Tom Nook character. This morning I unlocked Ariel. That was fun. That was my today. And then the parks panel started, and so I turned it off.
Take that, Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah. Okay, and one more thing before we get to all that crazy D23 stuff. It was also Disney Plus Day.
It was,
May as
yeah.
well mention that. But that really got overshadowed by...
Yeah, it was kind of like the appetizer to D23. They released a few things on there, and I don't think we've watched any of them.
Not a one. And the only other thing is that we have a new She-Hulk episode, of course. Episode 4, what did you think? Spoiler free?
Yeah, it's fine.
It was
They're
entertaining.
They're short. They're short. I keep coming back to them being short.
Yep.
I'm very much looking forward to Daredevil.
I think that might be this week. Soon. They did... that was on Disney Plus Day, I think, was when that came out. They did have... Marvel Entertainment did release like a... looking for the next section of She-Hulk. I don't know. You guys wouldn't call it a preview, hey?
Yeah, it was like the mid-season trailer. They've done that for pretty much
Yeah.
every Marvel show.
But there was Daredevil and Matt Murdock in it, so...
Yep. And they showed more of that actually during the Marvel panel of D23, so we can talk about that too.
Sure can. Why not? You know what? Let's just jump to that. Our news section is our main topic section.
Double duty again. This
Again.
week.
Yeah, that's right. So let's just jump straight to that.
Jump.
Disney A News Update. Okay, so I kind of divided up the notes into like sections or topics.
Much like how they divided up their panels.
Exactly how I did it.
Wow. You're so smart.
Okay, so on Friday...
Do we have live musical acts to come, or no? That
You can jazz hands if you want. Like, no one can see you do it except
Well,
me, though. You can sing if you want.
No one wants that. No, nobody wants
Well, they did have a haunted mansion be like a horror kind of. Okay, so Friday we had the Disney Pixar animation kind of panel, and then they also had some live action announcements that just kind of lumped into the same thing. This isn't necessarily in any particular order, but I just kind of jotted down all the stuff we heard about. So you want to just jump straight into that?
Yes, I do.
Because I think we'll be talking about more stuff as it goes on, is kind of how I figure.
Yeah.
All right. Zootopia Plus shorts. Those come out in November. We heard about this before. We just had more information about it.
Yeah, I wonder why they're pushing Zootopia so much.
Yeah, weird, hey?
Yeah.
Huh. Strange Worlds. This is in theaters. Well, it says Thanksgiving, but of course that's American Thanksgiving. This is their theatrical animated release. Kind of cool. Apparently there was like a look at it, but of course we didn't get to see it because we were not there.
Yeah, I wonder. Strange Worlds looks very sci-fi.
It does.
I wonder if they're going to try and incorporate some of that into Tomorrowland.
Oh, maybe.
Because that's still up in the air, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, Wish is the 2023 animated theatrical release, and this is the background story of the Wishing Star. Yep.
The gritty prequel of the star. No, but isn't it supposed to be like kind of CG but looks like hand drawn?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to see very much of a look at it.
I thought like I didn't see any video of it, but I thought I saw a couple of screen captures. And it looked kind of similar to what Paperman, because Paperman was not hand drawn. It was It was 2D computer animated that looked hand drawn, and I think that's maybe where they're going with this.
Well, I really like Paperman, so if they do it well, the animation for that was just gorgeous. So we got Hocus Pocus 2, another trailer for that. That's coming out right away here, September 30th.
Yeah, well, spooky season. So
spooky season. Disenchanted trailer. We watched this. This is coming out in November. What did you think of it?
Oh, we watched all the publicly available trailers that came out of this, and yeah, I like it. Like it's.
Me too.
I like the deconstruction of like fairy tale tropes and stuff like that. Like I like the first Enchanted, and this one seems to be pulling on different threads that they
I was not sure what they were going to
fun of it, but,
do with this, and I kind of like the angle they're taking to it. So that's kind of cool. Other announcements: Peter Pan and Wendy is coming straight. This is a live action coming straight to Disney Plus in 2023.
Is this a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Live action movie. Haunted Mansion movie. And this is cool. Jamie Lee Curtis came out for this one in a doom buggy.
What was it for then? Haunted Mansion?
Haunted Mansion.
Oh, okay.
She is playing Madame Leota, and which we had heard before but is now confirmed and everything. That's coming March 10th, 2023. Odd March? That's weird. Haunted Mansion, not in the fall? Okay. Mufasa.
Yeah, that is weird.
The Lion King. It's a live action. 2024.
Prequel.
Yep. Live action prequel. Basically.
I did hear Timon and Pumbaa are going to be in it.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's interesting. Okay. But it's
Seth Rogen and whoever Timon was played by are coming back. I saw Seth Rogen. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah. Live action Snow White 2024. Live action Little Mermaid, May 2023, and this one we did have publicly available as well, the clip of her doing Part of Your World.
Yeah, just a very small clip.
Apparently, after this was announced, they showed this. Our new Little Mermaid came out on stage, standing ovation. So, positively received by some, and
the attendees liked it, I guess. I think most of these live action remakes are not good, but it has nothing to do with the casting. So.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, we're just not huge fans of live action remakes across the board. But yeah, Anyway, I'll watch it probably. I like it. I like Little Mermaid, so I don't know. Then, this is cool. Have you heard about Elemental? This is June 2023. It's from Disney Pixar. And have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's like, what if the elements had feelings?
Exactly. It's a love story between Wade and Ember. That is a
fire and water.
Male water, female fire.
Yeah. She's a fiery lady.
She is. That's
literally.
Great. Literally, yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's going to be an odd couple type of situation because he's like laid back, go with the flow. Because he's
water. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She's going to have a fiery personality.
Yeah. See, it writes itself, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. I could see it.
Yeah, I'm to that. From a literary perspective, that's super interesting because in traditional symbolism, that's actually opposite. Women are always aligned in traditional literature with water and men are with fire. So like that's an interesting little. That's the first thing I thought of. I was just like, oh, cool. Then we had heard about the Win or Lose series of shorts before, and I guess they saw more of that during this panel.
Baseball.
Yep.
He's baseball.
Elio or Elio, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. It's coming out in 2024.
Elio,
really?
I have no idea. I said that with confidence, though, didn't I?
You really did. Inside Out Part 2, coming 2024.
Interesting.
Not a surprise. This one was kind of like whispered, rumored, but then there's been a lot of whisper rumors that we didn't get announced, so who the heck knows?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Are they like gonna explore teenage years or something?
I think maybe, yeah.
A lot of emotions during those teenage years.
That was what it left off of, was the joke, right? Yeah. Most returning cast, not all. And then I'm not gonna say this right. It's Iwaju or Iwaju. I didn't hear it, so I'm not sure how to pronounce it. That's coming to Disney Plus in 2023, and this is looks like a futuristic world, but it takes place, I think, in Nigeria. So that's kind of cool.
That is interesting.
And that was the main stuff that came out of like that section.
So I guess basically Wish is probably the big announcement of that one.
Yeah, Wish and
Inside Out 2,
Inside Out 2, I guess. Wish is a big one, but it was like really cool to hear more about like Elemental, for example, and Strange Worlds. I know like that's not an announcement, but I guess they did like a lot of first look stuff at it, and so that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yep. All right. TV. Muppets Mayhem. This had been rumored before, so we heard more information about it. This is coming 2023. This is following the Electric Mayhem Band, which is cool. So I kept the list of all the things we saw on the poster. This explains the Muppets.
Yeah.
Right? Plus, they had a panel, a special look because of its Muppets Christmas Carol 30th anniversary. So they did like a special thing about that as well at D23. So that explains the Muppets. We had first look at Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm not a Percy Jackson person. You're not really a Percy Jackson person, so like...
Certainly not, no.
But...
a little young for us.
Yeah, a little young, but a lot of people were excited about it, so okay.
Well, that's good.
I actually included in here 4, but one is a little bit more in-depth, but they had some looks at some holiday stuff coming up. There's Best in Snow. Ice carving is what that is.
Yeah.
Snow and ice sculptures.
Kind of jump in on the HGTV bandwagon.
That's why I brought it up, because I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Pentatonix Holidays, they have a special coming out. This one, the Hip Hop Nutcracker, I laughed at, run by Run DMC is doing this.
Yo, Sugar Plum Fairies. I don't know, that's the best I got.
Oh no. I feel like you should apologize.
But I'm not sorry.
Okay. Keeping along with Christmas, we also got a look at the Santa Clauses. So this is a Disney Plus series coming this holiday season with Tim Allen and the original cast of the Santa Claus movies. I watched the first 2. I didn't watch the third one or anything. Did you?
No.
Did you even watch the second one?
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's when he's like looking for a Mrs. Claus.
Yeah,
okay. Well, anyway, Apparently, from what we see, and Tim Allen came in and introduced this, and he said it's going to answer some questions. He said it's going to answer why the elves weren't so upset when a different Santa showed up.
Yeah.
But
that's good, because that was a little strange.
Exactly. Why doesn't Mrs. Claus have a first name in it? Yeah. And then they had like a clip, and it's kind of like he decides to retire or something. I don't know. So anyway,
which is interesting, because I thought that's what the third movie was about, him trying to, because it was the Santa Claus, and then the Mrs. Claus, and then the Escape Claus was part 3.
Yeah, and that one had like Jack Frost, who was played by Martin Short, right? Yeah, which I never watched. I don't know. So anyway, that's coming out this holiday season. And then we also got a look at National Treasure: Edge of History. This is another Disney Plus series, and this is coming December 14th. What did you think about this kind of stuff?
Muppets is cool.
Yep.
All the holiday stuff looks pretty lame.
I'll like it.
Santa Claus is what I was never the biggest Santa Claus fan, but I don't know. The trailer was cute.
The trailer was cute.
Kind of silly.
And it has Bernard, who is my favorite, is in there.
Yeah, he's looking a little rough for an aging immortal elf person, but that's just how life goes. They do what they could.
Maybe he retired. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. Whatever. We also had a clip in a cameo from Peyton Manning, which is pretty funny.
Oh,
for
that
sports
was
fans.
fun. Yeah.
It's NFL Sunday today, actually.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, that is exciting.
Week 1 of NFL.
That's very exciting. Okay, so it's windy, so like we apologize for windy sounds. No.
It's just for effect. It's fine.
Okay.
But National Treasure. I like the National Treasure movies.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope that they have a secret Nick Cage cameo.
I hope so.
Would be nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's head over to, you know what? Let's jump down to Star Wars and Lucasfilm, and then let's go back to Marvel.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. So we got another look at Andor. I'm really excited for this. I know you're kind of like not sure.
I go back and forth on this one, but every trailer I've seen for it makes it look really cool. So
yeah, I'm like shocked that you're not like.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm hopeful, but also, the whole prequel thing is tough for me.
But it's not like part of the prequel trilogy. It's like
no. It's a prequel to a story, though.
Yeah.
And that always is tough.
Yeah, but I don't know. Rogue One did it really well, so I'm really excited for this because it's telling all these other random stories, not just one character. So I think that helps as well. We got a Mandalorian season 3 look.
We did. I thought the trailer would be a little more hype than it was.
Yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, also there's this thing.
Yeah, a lot of shots of Baby Yoda just riding co-pilot style.
To be fair.
Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully they have some better trailers for this coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be going into a lot of Mandalore lore.
We did get Bo-Katan in the trailer.
Seems like she's going to be a big part of this season, which is cool.
Yep, very cool. But yeah, I think this was just a first look like, hey guys, don't forget we're doing this. Keep subscribing to Disney Plus.
Basically, yeah.
Then we got this one I was so excited about, Tales of the Jedi. This is coming October 26th. And we did get, because I did hear that Ashley Eckstein was going to be back as voice of Ahsoka. And so this is what we're looking at here. This is the one we had heard about before, but we got an actual look at it here.
Yeah, so it's basically prequels to the Clone Wars.
Yep.
You look at the two main Clone Wars specific characters, although Dooku was in the movies, but a very minor character in the movies, basically. And yeah, so it's going to be prequel for Ahsoka and Count Dooku.
Yeah, 3 and 3.
Yeah,
I think that's super cool.
And like really good animation.
And I really like the title, the way the two lightsabers go in and then they meet, because that's the whole thing. Is they have like just little things that send them on completely different paths.
Right, and they both have their own problems with the Jedi Order and go off and do their own thing in different ways.
Exactly. So I think this is really cool. We also got Bad Batch Season 2 was announced. Then heading over to, we got a Willow trailer. Now, this one I wanted to ask your opinion about because it blew my mind.
I am very surprised by this.
But pleasantly surprised?
Yeah. Because we've been watching some major streaming shows in the fantasy realm that back when Willow came out, you could have only dreamed that they were going to make stuff like this, right? I remember watching Willow a whole bunch as a kid because I was like super into The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and you didn't have media that was doing stuff like that.
It couldn't live up to it, yeah.
So Willow was the best we got, and Willow was really good.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that they're like such an old property coming back is going to have such a high budget for a series.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was
very, very high budget.
It did. I thought they were just going to do like, hey, nostalgia. Yeah. Hey, hipsters, come here. Millennials, like but whatever. But no, it's like.
Because like the current The Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings kind of prequel series that's on Amazon Prime right now seems to like it has a huge budget. Like there was lots of rumors about how much it cost. This seems like on par with that, which surprises the heck out of me.
It looks awesome.
It looks really good.
I'm really excited for this. And yeah, it literally blew my mind. I think I squealed during it, actually.
And the villain that they kept showing is like terrifying. Like, something out of Silent Hill or Dark Souls or something, like just creepy looking.
Yeah,
dude.
You mentioned that a couple times. I was like, oh yeah, that would definitely work as a villain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's cool. I like that.
We also got Indiana Jones 5, which we knew we would hear about. And Harrison Ford showed up to.
They did show a clip for attendees only, so we don't know.
Yep, we don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it.
But apparently he was fairly emotional, and he said he's saying goodbye to this.
Well, yeah, it's like
that's what he keeps doing.
Basically, capstone to his career. Yeah. He said goodbye to Han Solo. Now he's going to be saying goodbye to Indy, and it's like literally riding off into the sunset in his life.
That's really sad, actually. I don't want to think about that too much. Yeah,
that would be emotional. So that's cool.
But apparently, I guess we didn't see it. Obviously, we weren't there. But just from like hearing about it, apparently he came out and people just like would not sit down, just kept applauding and standing ovation like crazy. And of course, he'd be emotional.
I hope it's good.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I don't know.
Every other Indiana Jones movie has been good. So there you go.
Every single one.
No, every other one.
Oh, that's true. So that's true.
The odd ones have been good.
Yeah. Okay. I like what you're saying. I did make a note here, but there was also a games panel, and there was a cool game that was looking at a Marvel World War II period piece I was going to ask your opinion about here. I didn't make a bunch of notes or anything on this, but just like before we're getting into Marvel.
Yeah,
in the next
I didn't
section,
pay too much attention to the game stuff. Apparently, there's a Tron game.
Yes.
I don't know, mobile or something. If it's mobile, then it's no good. But basically.
And just before, I know I just asked you, but they already announced the next update for Disney Dreamlight Valley is bringing for Scar from Lion King, and then Toy Story characters. So that was my exciting part of that. Okay, but the cool thing was this Marvel one.
Yep. And so they're doing. Yeah, so they're doing the Tron thing. They also showed more of the Midnight Suns, which is another Marvel game that's coming out that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Turn-based strategy game type of thing.
Right.
But yeah, so they showed, it was just the cinematic trailer, like cinematic teaser trailer of this Black Panther Captain America game that takes place in World War II, which is strange. I'm curious. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of game it is. Like, it must be like action.
I would assume
game.
so, but yeah, it was just this little tiny teaser, very cinematic, very.
If it's anything like the Batman Arkham games or the Spider-Man PlayStation games, that would be really
fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. And like Captain America beating up Nazis. Who can't like that?
So I listened to a lot of the D23 Expo Live official feed, and that's what they were talking about, where they said, well, I mean, like, when in doubt, like, let's just go for Captain America beating up Nazis. And
everybody likes beating up Nazis.
Yeah. I'm guessing that that's kind of the vibe, is something like Arkham.
Yeah, if it's a cool third-person action game with a good combat system, I will be super down for that.
Yeah.
Those Arkham games are awesome, and the Spider-Man ones have a similar formula.
I really liked, so I didn't play it, but I liked being in the room when you were playing it because it was cool just to watch.
It's cinematic. So it feels like you're playing a movie. Those games are set up really well. I'm hoping it's in that vein.
Yeah, that's cool. It's good. I'll sit there and do marking while you are like playing, and I'll request certain ones. And Spider-Man, I requested a lot. Okay, so speaking of Marvel, let's go into the Marvel panel.
Okay. Marvelous.
We were hoping we would hear about Armor Wars. There was a little bit about Armor Wars.
So they did mention it.
They mentioned it, and that's basically what they did. Yeah. So we did hear it's coming, but it's going to take place after Secret Invasion. Is the idea?
So that's one of the big trailers that we saw in this panel was the Secret Invasion major trailer, and Don Cheadle is in that as a major character, so that makes sense that it would take place after.
Yeah. And that's just, he is the one who did say, and then we'll have Armor Wars following the events of, which makes sense, I guess, why we don't have a date or anything specific then, because there's probably spoilers tied into it, right?
You gotta, the dominoes have to fall in order, kind of thing.
I really laughed at all the Kevin Feige comments and stuff that was going on. I was watching one, and it was, they were looking at composers from Marvel movies, and they said, "Oh, have you started working on this, and can you tell us anything?" And she said, "Yes and no."
And then he's like, "Good."
Yeah, I was like, "Excellent." And someone else said, like, "Are you wanting to be, can you tell us about anything about this character?" And they're just like, the answer is always no. Like, he's trained them so well. So, of course, he just said, Armor Wars is coming. We can tell you it takes place after this. We can't tell you anything more about it. So I'm like, oh, that actually makes me want to know more about it. Smart Feige.
Yep. But the Secret Invasion, like, what did you think of that trailer?
I don't know what I was expecting from Secret Invasion, but it looks really cool. And they dropped like a lot. I'm not sure what the vibe of this is going to be yet, though.
It gave me serious, like, the Winter Soldier movie, how it was like dark, like, and that focused a lot on Nick Fury in that movie. He had his whole like action scene. It felt like that. Like darker spy craft and all that.
I really liked the vibe of Winter Soldier, so that's awesome. And seeing Nick Fury in this is pretty cool.
And it's going to be huge because like the whole Skrull thing is they can go a lot of different ways with that. So
and the amount of stuff in the trailer we did see is like, what haven't we seen yet from this? Because it's cool. It's really cool, and the characters who show up in this are interesting.
They could have anybody.
They could do whatever they want with it, honestly. So this looks really cool. I was glad we got to see the trailer. That was a big one. Huge news. We got Thunderbolts casting. We found out who's in the Thunderbolts. So and we got a poster of the Thunderbolts. So I love the poster. So let's talk about who's all in the Thunderbolts here first of all, because we brought them all out. We brought most of them out, I guess. So, not necessarily in the order they announced, but Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp was in there. Well, that wasn't a surprise, I don't think.
No, I think that was pretty much assumed. They'll have to figure out how she gets her powers back, because they kind of cured her in that movie.
Yeah, they did, but they really, they left it where you felt like you were going to see her again.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
So,
definitely.
I can't say that was, insanely...
Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Contessa's going to be back.
We knew.
She's going to be the leader of it, of course.
She's the Nick Fury of the Thunderbolts.
Right.
Yeah.
Generally, the Thunderbolts are led by General Thunderbolt, but, of course, the actor that played him in the MCU passed, so...
This is the way to do it kind of thing.
Which makes sense. They were leaning towards that with all the post-credit stuff and all the... her roles in the Disney Plus series and things like that, so that makes sense.
I'm curious to see more about her, actually. We got Taskmaster coming back. This is really cool.
That makes sense.
Yep. We got no surprise here, but what is his name now? He was Captain America, and now he's like Soldier. What's his name in this?
U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent. Okay. Again, no surprise in this.
Very bland name, I know.
Yes.
But yes, he's like dark Captain America.
Right. I was really excited. My favorite part of the poster actually is.
And this was a big surprise for me, actually.
Really? Yeah. Well, it felt like he wasn't coming back, but they actually have actor's name
David Harbour
is returning as
Red Guardian.
Right, and in the poster the picture, you have to look at it because everyone is doing superhero pose and he's like grinning, waving.
Yeah, they're all very serious, looking like a team, and he's
his
like
mouth's hanging over.
He's like, hi.
He's
I'm the Red Guardian.
So this was really cool as well. I thought this was really exciting and kind of different.
And then, not a surprise, of course, is Yelena is back.
Right, that was like the most locked in, obvious one, other than I guess like U.S. Agent. I guess everyone knew he was going to be.
Yeah.
But Yelena is back, looking pretty awesome. And then this one was a surprise to me. I don't know.
Yeah, another big surprise.
And then they announced the final member. We were thinking it was going to be Abomination.
Everybody was thinking Abomination.
But it's not Abomination.
Mm-mm.
We had Bucky Barnes come on out. Isn't that cool?
And in the poster, he's got a nice fancy gold arm.
Yeah.
Because he did have a replacement arm, but it wasn't gold.
No. So
like,
interesting.
Is it still vibranium? Who knows?
I don't know. Anyway, so that's... I don't know what's going on with that, but that was really cool. And it was really cool to see them all lined up there and really funny.
And it was interesting because they introduced it as the fact that there's no Avengers, so there's kind of a vacuum of superhero teams, and there's still a team operating. They're not really superheroes though, so we'll see. Yeah,
I'm curious to see
I'm looking forward
what
to
the tone is going to be of this or anything like that. But yeah, so we got casting of this. That was pretty exciting. We did not get casting though of Fantastic Four.
No,
but we did get a director.
Yeah, Matt Shackman.
But you said he's directed a few different things.
He's directed a lot of small nerd stuff, TV stuff. So
episode of WandaVision. I'm not sure which one though.
I don't know. I don't know either. I just looked up like his filmography, and they just listed the series that he was on.
So that's interesting.
So WandaVision, Game of Thrones, he did one of.
Right.
And something from The Boys as well. So he has that superhero experience.
He does. A little different.
A little different, but...
but still, like, fun nerd stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not sure yet on this. People were really hoping for some Fantastic Four casting, but nothing. Crickets.
Yeah,
Crickets.
It was me. I'm people.
Fair. After the Marvel panel... No Deadpool was trending because that's the other thing people were looking for was Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Nothing. Crickets on that front. We did not get crickets though. We did get Ironheart. There was some specifically for there. I guess they did show, I don't know, like a scene or a clip or something that was not publicly released, but we did get, there was a showing there of Ironheart.
Yeah, they had some clips from it. It's going to be probably further revealed after Black Panther comes out because she debuts in that.
Yeah.
So
I'm 100% expecting more as soon as that happens.
Yeah.
The thing is, Marvel isn't like, they don't release trailers and teasers so far in advance anymore. They don't need to, quite frankly. Plus, the way their continuum is and everything, they don't want to like give away stuff.
They don't want to give away stuff. Everything is an ad for the next thing, which is a blessing and a curse. Like it's, I don't know.
But anyway, Ironheart did make a showing. We also got a Captain America New World Order. The villain was announced.
This is huge.
This was really big. What did you think about the leader?
So,
and it's like it's what it means.
They're really leaning into bringing the Incredible Hulk movie, the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk movie, back into MCU because it was like the loosest attached of the big movies, and you got the Thunderbolts coming in, you got Abomination and She-Hulk, and now you've got the big teased villain from that movie.
Yep.
His little scientist friend got some Hulk blood dripped into his brain and made his brain all big, and he's a well-known comic villain, I guess. So yeah.
And they got the actor back, and they got the whole...
Some people are upset that he's going to be in a Captain America movie because he's like a Hulk villain.
Oh, yeah?
So, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. And everything overlap anyway.
Yes, but they don't want to make Hulk movies because they
right.
don't have the full distribution rights to the Hulk, so you won't ever see a Hulk movie, I don't think.
And then the other thing is that a lot of people were shocked, including us, about Abomination not being, with Abomination being set up in She-Hulk. I
would still wager he's involved somehow.
I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't think we haven't not seen him, because why else bring him, right? Like they love overlapping.
He's gonna be involved in either the Thunderbolts or this Captain America movie, or
both. Could be both. And then the last one that it probably wasn't as big as, say, Thunderbolts casting or Captain America, but I just thought it was like
it's coming soon,
coolest thing, and it's the next thing that we have. Yeah. October 7th, we have Werewolf by Night. This is the Halloween special. This was insane.
So they need to do more of these specials. Like, the Lego stuff has been doing good specials.
Oh, and super fun.
But, like, Star Wars and Marvel proper could benefit from doing actual specials. Not like the Star Wars holiday special. We don't talk about that. But
what Star Wars holiday special? I don't know what you're talking about.
This looks like it's just leaning into being super fun and cheesy.
Oh my god, it looks like 1950s BC horror pulp. Oh, it looks amazing.
I like super tongue in cheek.
Super, yeah, and like the camera work and the.
A lot of people probably aren't familiar with that era of filmmaking.
Okay.
The closest thing you might have seen is if you've seen the full music video for Thriller, was based on that type of horror film, basically.
I highly recommend you go to YouTube and you look at this, because it's like I don't think I can explain it even.
Yeah, it's an old Vincent Price.
Yeah.
Black and white.
Exactly.
Classic monsters.
Basically
horror
original.
Set in the MCU somehow.
Vincent Price is, but the premise of it is that the character's there, and he says, and one of you is a werewolf, and so the whole thing is like trying to figure out.
Which is an interesting double play, because there's a party game where you play, and it's like social deduction where someone's a werewolf and you have to find out, and if you were wrong, they kill a villager every round.
Oh, cool.
There is a game that you play like that, so it's basically that, but in the MCU. And in the trailer, there's also TVA agents. So
we know. Well, you noticed that right away. You're like, that's TVA. So check this out.
Is this just like a rogue timeline? Is that how they're going to explain the whole premise? Like,
maybe it's anything is possible now in the multiverse, right? Like, everything was fun.
I like it.
I don't know. We could see anyone in this because it's a special, and they can just play with it. Like, there were rumors about like maybe Blade is going to show up in this randomly, or maybe we're going to see Moon Knight show up again.
Both of those would make sense. They have ties to the supernatural.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Like, anything is possible. If the TVA shows up, who the heck knows? Okay. Then today we had the Parks panel.
And this is the only one I actually watched live, because that's how timing worked out.
Right. Well, a lot of these they didn't do live. They just did like recaps after, and then we saw like the trailers and stuff online.
They only had so much live streaming.
Yeah, but this one they did live.
Especially because of the movie stuff, they had special trailers, so they didn't. Yeah, they couldn't show them live.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, so let's start cruises, because there was actually some news out of this.
I did call. I like this was like me calling it.
Put a big check mark in the brand and called it.
Yeah.
So I did figure they would talk about the other island, Lighthouse Point, and they did. They actually showed some concept art, like kind of like a first look, I guess, or second look maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and so because Castaway Key is kind of more in the Florida Keys, it's still like the Bahamas and Florida Keys are all like kind of the same area, same Caribbean area. Like that whole nest of islands is not that far apart.
No.
So yeah. Anyway. And they kind of lean into it being like an abandoned island or whatever.
Yes.
This one's in the Bahamas proper, and it's gonna look at like Bahamian culture and
it looks
stuff.
Really cool.
It does look
cool. And it's gonna be more than 90% solar powered, which is, I mean, like, look at that sun. I guess it makes sense.
Makes sense. Probably cheaper too.
Probably.
With solar power, once you make that capital investment, then you don't have to spend anything.
No, I think that's great.
As long as it doesn't get blown over by a hurricane, I suppose.
Mostly that. So that was the first cruise information, but the big cruise information... Well, okay, let's do minor cruise information. Well, not that it's minor, but Disney Wonder is heading to Australia and New Zealand. And the repositioning, this is pretty exciting, is going to go through like Fiji and stuff.
That's like high on my bucket list.
Yeah, I figured.
South Pacific is very high on my bucket list. And
you know what? I
don't know if I would do it on a Disney repositioning cruise. Like, I would probably do it on a specialized cruise that that is used to going to that area. But I mean, if it was cheap enough, then hey, what?
Who knows?
That's the thing with cruising. If you do a repositioning cruise, it's cheap because they're just selling seats on this cruise that they're gonna drive that way anyway to move it to a different port where they want it. So yeah, I don't know.
You know what? Since it's so high on your list, I guess I'm willing to make the sacrifice to go to Fiji.
Well, I didn't invite you.
Oh. That's funny. Okay, but then the big news, you called it. Here's your check went off, Brandon's.
Smart.
Yeah. We're getting a new ship. And we got a new logo. We got a first look at the atrium kind of area.
Yeah, the theme of it and
Yes,
everything.
and I'm here for this. This looks awesome. I'm ready to board the Disney Wish. I'm gonna do a ocean cruise before we do that because of money. To make sure I can actually cruise, I get very seasick. So we're gonna see if I can handle it first. But if if cruise 1 works out, yay. Then Disney Wish, yay. And then I want to board this. This is the Disney Treasure, and it's focusing on adventure. And what's the theme? Talk to me about the theme.
Adventure.
What?
It's out there.
It is, but it's not up themed.
So it's no, it's not up themed. So every Disney ship has a big main lobby atrium area, and they have a big statue in it. And this one statue is actually Aladdin and Jasmine
on the magic carpet,
and they're flying. Yes, and they're talking about a whole new world and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the chandelier is like so cool. It fits right in with like.
Well, and the sky, the roof of the atrium looks like a sky, kind of like.
So cool.
Magical sky.
Yeah,
almost.
Like it looks very Agrabah appropriate.
But yeah, this is basically the sister ship to the Wish. It's going to be very similar size and amenities and stuff like that. They had some shots.
I was going to ask you about this.
They had a little trailer for the ship, and in each porthole they had a different little clip of different themes.
So who did we see?
Coco. We saw Coco. We saw Coco. We saw Peter Pan.
Yep.
Well, he was flying in. He wasn't in a porthole. What else did we see?
We saw Encanto. Oh, Moana.
Yeah, Moana. Yeah.
And then the Hitchhiking Ghost.
Yeah. So they didn't really say anything about what these are. I want a Haunted Mansion bar. I
love that idea.
Ghoulish cocktails.
I am now in love with this idea.
That better be what it is.
It better be, because I'm as soon as you said it, I'm like, that's it. That's what I want. I'm in love with the idea. I'm married to the idea. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so they better do it now, because you got my hopes up just with this random comment you made.
Yeah. But anyway, sister ship to the Wish, so that's cool.
I love it. Yep. And so again, that's Disney Treasure, and that is going to be 2024.
So rumors of cruise industry's demise were greatly exaggerated.
Yes. Okay, so Disney. We're gonna kind of circle closer and closer to home. Okay, so Disney parks news around the world. We got highlight from what I thought was a highlight from Shanghai Disney. We got a first look at the Zootopia kind of area, and the coolest audio animatronic I think I've ever seen. This is insane.
Right up there with the Avatar one. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. This is Officer Clawhauser, which is
the big chubby cheetah.
Yeah, who's adorable.
He's cute. Yeah.
But apparently in Zootopia they're going to have the police officer, the police headquarters, and he's the one who greets you in the movie, so he's the one who greets you here, and he looks amazing.
Very well animated animatronic.
Yeah. Yes.
Very I don't know.
That's a lot of hair they put on that guy as well. It's pretty cool. This is not an order of announcements, by the way, because he jumped around a lot.
So we're going to jump around even more.
We are. In Hong Kong, they announced a new partner statue. I think they're going to run out of partners. But this is very famously the park bench.
Walt's going to be posed really funny for the next few. He's going to be doing yoga.
Pointing. But this is, he was sitting on a park bench watching the carousel when he famously thought of the idea of Disneyland, and that's supposed to be what he's doing here, but he's joined by Mickey Mouse. So that is what this statue is of. Oh, you do that very well. We also got a lot of stuff about the Frozen land. So there's one in Paris, Hong Kong, and Tokyo.
Yeah, they're going all in Frozen over there.
Yeah, super focused on that. Disneyland Paris, we also got leading to the Frozen land, there's going to be a Tangled attraction. So
Makes
I think
sense,
that's
yeah.
like news, I guess. In Tokyo, not only were they talking about Frozen, but they also were talking about the reimagining of Space Mountain, which had been previously announced, but they got more information about that.
The concept art of that, and they had some
Looks crazy.
animated concept art for it, and it's gonna look amazing at night.
It really is. They're going to do this whole like entrance area. It looks gorgeous. And what did they say? 2026, I think? 2027, something like that?
I don't know. I wasn't paying too much attention to that.
We were kind of glazed over till we got back to the States anyway.
Like, well, I'm not
Come back to North America.
I'm not going to see it anytime soon, so I didn't.
But we will see it.
One day.
One day.
One day.
But anyway, it looks really cool. So if you are lucky enough to be heading that way, we are envious. Also the attractions or the new lands that are Peter Pan, Tangled, and Frozen. That's again in Tokyo. They've got such cool stuff over there. Then we headed to Disney World. The one that got lots of people excited is the Hatbox Ghost, which was Disneyland specific, is heading to Disney World. Makes sense. We have a Haunted Mansion movie coming. Of course it makes sense. And Hatbox Ghost is super cool, so.
Yeah, I'm glad they figured out that technology.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Everyone was waiting for the Tron opening date. There was some conjecture. It could be like...
Soon?
Like, yeah, because they said early 2023, and then some people were like, ooh, we might get it just like tail end, like in December. No. Spring 2023. We are getting Tron, and Josh Morrow did take us on a little bit of his first ride on it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to wait till spring 2023.
No, but he also did it with the lights on, which did not look as cool.
Yeah, well, from what we saw, like they didn't show very much of it.
No, it looks take off and then coming back in.
It looks very thrilling, like high thrill for a Disney. Although they do a little bit more at like Rock and Roller Coaster's definitely more than California Screamer, or sorry, Incredicoaster.
Incredicoaster. Yeah. I'm curious. I will probably ride this. I will.
No, you will.
I will ride. You know what?
You might not ride it twice.
That's fair. That's fair. You really want to get me to go to Universal and do the Jurassic World.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But this one you'll get me on. Like you said, it might be once, but you'll get me on it. But I'll watch a ride through for sure as well. There's certain things, like we avoided spoilers for Rise of the Resistance like crazy. I'm not going to avoid spoilers for Tron Light Cycle.
It's
a roller coaster. And one we're not getting to anytime in the near future.
I will say I'm glad that we avoided spoilers for Rise, because
that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I've never avoided spoilers for a ride before, and this blew my mind. I'm so glad. And we successfully did that for like 2 years.
Way too long, yeah.
More than 2 years.
When we decided to do that, it was supposed to be like a month and a half. Turned into 2.5 years. Like, come on.
But we did it.
We did it. Yeah. We did it.
Okay, so anyway, that is coming spring 2023. Then we had some, like, in the future, the little bit of blue sky stuff, which is what they call, like, just they're starting to daydream kind of thing, Imagineering.
Well,
but
yeah, it's a little bit further along than that, but it's still near distant future.
Exactly. Yeah. Near distant future. I like the way it says it's like
plan.
Down the road we're going to talk about. So this is Disney World specific here. Of course it is, because anyway, one of the rumors was Dino Land in Animal Kingdom retheming, and yep.
Yeah, they're going a little bit beyond a retheming. They're like...
It is completely... They're taking out... There will be no more Dino Land. If you're in love with Dino Land, congratulations. You're one of like 10 people, apparently. Mm-hmm. We can't talk. We haven't been there, but it's what we hear.
I was there.
Did you go to Dino Land, though?
Yeah, yeah. I walked through it.
And then on your way to somewhere else?
I kept walking.
Yeah, okay. All right, there we go. If you love Dino Land, you're one of like 10 people. Go there now, because it's not going to be there for very long.
No.
It is going to become exactly what everyone said it should be, Zootopia. And Moana.
Yeah, they're chucking in some Moana in there.
Yeah. Which is, I like this. I think it works.
Moana, yeah, so the concept art, they kind of briefly talked about they just want to bring in the feeling of Zootopia. That they talked about the tram ride, the train ride that Judy Hopps takes in that movie and sees like the different parts of the Zootopia world. And they
cool.
They kind of want to bring that so you can explore it yourself, and that's ambitious.
Well, and I think we'll see more of those types of worlds in this Zootopia plus kind of these shorts that we're getting.
Yeah.
Because so I think those are going to overlap very nicely together.
Makes sense, but Moana, they're gonna have a water ride. It looks like it looks almost like a Splash Mountain type thing in the concept art. They didn't talk about what they were doing. They just kind of
they said, "Here's your first look. We have some concept art. Here you go."
And they probably don't even know for sure what they're doing.
But we got serious Splash Mountain vibes from looking at that.
It looks like a log flume type of ride, which that fits really well with Moana, which is I kind of thought that they should do Moana for the Splash Mountain retheme in Disneyland.
We're going to talk about the Splash Mountain retheme here in a little bit, but I said Moana, and if not, well, actually what I said originally was they're not going to do it, but it should have been Pocahontas. She's in a canoe that goes down a waterfall.
Yeah.
That is the premise of Splash Mountain.
Very easy.
I get why they're not touching Pocahontas.
Well, there's some problematic.
You're not going to redo a problematic attraction with a problematic movie. I get that. So then Moana makes the most sense.
And it's also
water.
old and not really relevant anymore.
100%. I totally get it. Moana was the next obvious choice, but no. Anyway, so this totally makes sense. Apparently they're doing it at Disney World instead. What did you think about this?
I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
They can't be any worse. Like, no one's going to cry any tears over Dino Land.
No, I think people are pretty excited about this, actually. Other blue sky things. They said, what if you could go beyond Big Thunder? And then
this is blue sky.
This is totally blue sky. Yeah. So this is while they were out, and it was great because he invited someone from Disney Animation out and an Imagineer out, and as they were walking out, they played a song from Zootopia. And so it's like everyone kind of figured out what was happening. And then while he's out, he's like, okay, now we're going to talk some blue sky here for Disney World. So he said if you went beyond Big Thunder, and he was very clear, this is like, these are conversations that are happening.
They're doing something, though. It's still in the concept stage, but they have land set aside, and they're putting money into building something.
This is beyond a brainstorming, but like we're not breaking ground on this or anything.
No, not right
today.
Not today, but the thing is, they have lots of land in Florida. Once they figure out the whole Reedy Creek situation, which is another story, but they need to build stuff because Universal's going great guns out in Florida. They're building a whole new park.
So they didn't address it, but basically them talking about this blue sky stuff is their answer to Epic Universe that Universal's doing up there.
Which is major stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a theme parks arms race out on the East Coast, and
that must be nice.
I'm not upset about that at all. So hey,
fair enough. Okay, so they said, okay, if we went beyond Big Thunder, first of all, we're seeing Coco. That's pretty cool. They talked about an attraction for like flying to Day of the Dead, and it's like a whole thing that looked really cool.
Coco's ripe for good theming. I love
Coco
all that stuff.
Coco fits perfectly right by Big Thunder. Of course it does.
You could have a really cool, like, I'm picturing it as a dark ride, not super thrilling. You're kind of flying like Peter Pan, except like new Peter Pan with cool black light effects and stuff, because all that Day of the Dead and the Land of the Dead is
cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. They could just play with that so much. And then right beyond that, Encanto, going into the family madrigals, and so seeing Casita and all. He said you could maybe do all these different things. Maybe he said we could even talk about Bruno if you wanted.
If you want, I guess.
So like going into all the different rooms and they said, and the big question is, what if you figured out what your power was while you were there? So maybe some kind of like interactive. I'm thinking with them bringing in the Magic Bands Plus stuff, that
makes sense.
They want to do more of this interactive stuff. And then they said, and this is like the big blue sky thing.
I mean, yeah, those two fit really well together, and it's like easy transition. Different countries, but similar countries. So
yeah, totally. But like transitionable between them is basically it. Like the theming would work. But they said, and then beyond that, this is the crazy blue sky thing.
And they've been like trying to do this for a long time.
We've heard rumors like this was a dream. I think back before there was Disney World, even like villains land, villains like area. I don't know, but villains. And you could see it in the concept about how it would all just like transition into there. There was, oh man, there was so much stuff. They had Maleficent.
Yeah.
Showing up there, kind of like them. Oh man, that was cool.
So yeah, it's gonna be kind of darker and stuff. But this, again, I think this is a direct response to Epic Universe, which is gonna have the classic Monsters Land, which is darker and villain based as well. So, yeah.
Disney. Universal is like trying really hard to catch up with Disney in terms of that, and they can do more crazy thrill stuff than Disney typically does. So basically what has been happening, specifically West Coast, but also in the East Coast, is people go, if you're a theme park nut, you go to Disney, and while you're there, you spend a day or two at Universal. But in the East Coast especially, that hasn't been like, Universal is becoming more of a thing.
Creeping
Disney's
up.
going, whoa. Please make us still the premier. So this is kind of like their response to that. They don't want people going to Universal and spending a couple days at Disney while they're at Universal. And they want to keep it the other way around.
That was never a threat, but it's getting to be a threat. With Harry Potter lands being big, and now Super Nintendo is that, especially the Florida version where they have enough room to make it big time. It's gonna be a threat. Yep. So it isn't a threat yet, but it's the potential to become a threat, and Disney does not want that. So this is the response: is if you do villains, I mean, that's a big chunk of people who are gonna be very happy about that. I'm excited.
I hope they do it. That looks so cool.
This is gonna be like something they talk about in this will be like part of their 5-year plan to start.
Yeah. Oh
like
no,
it won't be finished in 5 years.
God no.
They'll be adding it to their budget at the tail end of a 5-year plan kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, this is going to be this is just like the whisper of a hint of it, basically, and then we're gonna get a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Okay, let's head to Disneyland. Hey, do you remember all that like wish list stuff we wanted to hear about?
Yeah, kind of didn't get much of that at all.
No. Okay, but before we get to what we didn't hear about, let's talk about some of the stuff we did hear about. So first of all, Disney's company's 100th anniversary is like right around the corner, basically.
And this might be one of the reasons we didn't hear about all that big stuff.
Exactly, because instead we're doing things like we're getting nighttime shows. They're doing a new World of Color. It's called World of Color 1 is coming out in January. There's a new fireworks show is coming out. Magic Happens is returning in the spring. This is the one that opened just before COVID shut down, like, 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, it was
like that.
It was supposed to be the new parade that when we were gonna go on our original April 2020 trip, and so they
3 years later
they put all this money into a new parade that was literally around for a week and a half.
Yeah, so we weren't surprised to hear this is coming back. They also spent a lot of time on Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yeah, got a lot more details about that.
Yeah, including a musical number.
Yeah, like just songs from the movie, which fine. The concept of the outside looks pretty cool,
especially at nighttime.
Yeah, I think they're really leaning into making it seem cool at nighttime.
Yeah,
it's tough to make over a bluff and to make it look like the bayou. Unfortunately,
what's the thing? The bayou water's fine, but there's no mountain.
There's no mountain. Yeah, I don't know. Bayou's very flat. It's a swamp, basically.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm hoping they kind of hand wavy voodoo stuff.
I'm hoping so.
I hope there's decent.
So we did get a bit of story. We got that the whole premise, and this is immediately after the events or shortly after the events of the movie. She's opened up a restaurant. It's a big success, and she's throwing a big party for Mardi Gras. And she decides to go on an adventure to get from the bayou some ingredients for this big celebration. But the whole thing is it's centered on Mardi Gras celebration. So she's leading you through the swamps to do that. Again, mountain, like you said, maybe it's a voodoo thing.
I mean,
we do have original returning voices, including Mama Udi, who is in the bayou voodoo kind. Like, she's not voodoo, but like that's how they could lean into it, I guess.
Right.
Maybe.
I think they need to bring back
Dr. Facilier. Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool villain too. He's in Oogie Boogies a lot, so right now it's going on. Here's the thing. twice during this presentation, they talked about this being a part of New Orleans. They didn't say it's officially moving to New Orleans Square, but like, duh.
Well, I mean,
of course it is. They said it's a love letter to New Orleans, and it's being, inspired by New Orleans. And
off in the corner there was Pooh crying.
yeah, no kidding. Which I don't know. I have thoughts and concerns about what that means.
Yeah, well,
so
that's
anyway,
for another day.
That is for another day. But as we thought, that is moving more and more towards that. So it looks really cool at night. They're taking out, of course, all the bramble from the briar patch, putting lots of cool lights. They say they're going to play with lighting and projections a lot for fog and steam. And they said they want it to be like a magical bayou adventure. So
magical.
We also had, this was pretty cool, Run Disney is returning to Disneyland in 2024. That is, they stopped doing that in 2017. So that's pretty cool.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Downtown Disney, we got some more information. And also about the Pixar Place Hotel. Now Pixar Place has got its full name. More concept from that, like the Finding Nemo water attraction.
Yeah, they had a little
stuff
spray
like
park
that.
and stuff. Yeah. Can't be any worse than it is now.
Exactly. So. But yeah, a little bit more about Downtown Disney, specifically the restaurants coming. People were really excited about apparently a Southern California favorite, which we don't live in Southern California.
No, we
do
not.
Portos,
which
is the British slang for public bathrooms.
Yeah.
Porta potties, like. And we say that too, like we're going to the port. Yeah. So I'm like, that's weird, but okay. Apparently it's a bakery / cafe, but it's also supposed to have Cuban food.
Cuban food is good.
We like Cuban stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's cool. This to me was the most exciting thing that I heard, I think. We're getting a Pacific Wharf at DCA.
Most surprising anyway.
Yeah. Pacific Wharf at DCA is being reimagined as San Francisco from Big Hero 6. No attractions lined up or anything like that.
Well,
but
it's Pacific Wharf is like where there's lots of food and shopping and stuff like that.
And that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But this is super cool.
Which fits really well with that theming, so.
Totally. Like, it's not going to be that hard to retheme this in terms of, like, budget and whatnot. And you are going to be able to meet Baymax, it says. We didn't, of course, see Baymax, but did say there would be meet and greets with Baymax. And I think that leads us into some of the other characters they did announce who came out on stage.
Yeah, they previewed some new meet and greets.
Let's stay over in DCA. We met someone who was pretty impressive that we think is going to overlap well with Baymax. They have some new tech,
which they were previewing on the trade show floor. They had they had a tech booth basically, and we saw that tech and we're like, well, we know what that's for.
And then sure enough,
they come out. There's going to be a new life-size Incredible Hulk.
Yep. And he looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Huge.
He was in. They previewed him in his Avengers time heist costume.
That's interesting to
me.
I was surprised by that. I was gonna ask you what you thought of that.
It's probably easier to like have him covered up, so you don't have to worry about the face as much.
And you won't have to worry about like musculature moving and stuff like that. Because I mean, this is crazy, and he's gonna be pretty rigid,
basically,
pretty staccato.
How it works is it's a person on stilts with 3D printed arms and legs, and they can maneuver the hands.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
But he's huge, and that Hulk is showing up in Avengers Campus next week.
Yeah.
So if you are in the area, go meet the Hulk. He's massive. They put him. Kevin Feige was here for this, and they brought him on out, and they were tiny.
Yeah, they look.
They were puny gods.
The scale is what you would expect. Smart Hulk. He's Smart Hulk.
Yeah. He was,
which makes sense. You wouldn't want guests interacting with regular Hulk. That'd be dangerous.
I did enjoy that they were making jokes though about Spider-Man, because he says, like there's a lot of new stuff there, and every once in a while Spider-Man, and then he went smack.
It's like we didn't want the Hulk to smash anything because we have enough problems with Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was like, that's good. That's good. They gotta like it. Yeah, good for them. And then we figure they didn't say this was gonna happen, but I mean, the next step.
They can use the same tech for Baymax. It's like the same dimensions.
Exactly.
Baymax is pretty big and chonky, so
it'll be the same skeletal structure or whatever. I guess. Yeah. Is it still skeletal if it's 3D printed skeletal?
Exoskeleton.
And then the first news that we actually heard, we're kind of working backwards here, but the first news that we heard in terms of Disneyland was another character. And then this one, we got Mando came on out. Mandalorian came out with Grogu. So he's going to be wandering around Galaxy's Edge starting in November.
Yeah, and the costume, like the Mando costume was like very screen accurate, like incredible. And they have a good voice box in it. It sounds just like Mando from the show.
Yeah.
I do like how they do that. Like they have the voice boxes for the stormtroopers and stuff as well.
And they do so well.
It works really well.
Like I'm shocked that that's a recording because the people who run that is amazing.
They can interact very, very well. And and there's a little animatronic in his bag of a Grogu
who's looking around and cooing and just being so freaking adorable.
And I'm sure he has buttons to control that or a helper off to the side with
kind of like an R2 situation. It's crazy.
But it's really cool what they can do with technology now. A walk around animatronic.
It's insane. Okay, so those are the characters we got. The other information we got, and this was hinted at during the opening of the whole thing, is we did get a little bit of information about Avengers e-ticket.
Yes. So in the keynote, they said, we're doing this. We'll have more details in the parks panel on Sunday.
We got a little bit more details.
Keyword little bit. They didn't say anything about what kind of ride it is.
No, although you saw a little bit of the ride vehicle, but it's all it was a print.
They showed a print of concept art, basically showing off how there's going to be a whole bunch of different characters because it's set in the multiverse, which was like the big news. And then the villain of the ride is going to be King Thanos.
Yep, the premise is Thanos won, and the Avengers aren't happy about it.
Yeah.
Any of the Avengers from any timeline or any multiverse.
Yeah, and so basically they can do whatever the heck they want with this.
I think that's the gist.
Which is cool.
That's super cool. And in the concept art, we counted 3 Captain Americas. So we got original Cap, we got new Cap, we got like Sam Cap, and then we got Captain Carter. We counted 3 Hulks if you include She-Hulk.
Yeah,
we counted
2 different.
Yeah,
I don't know. Was it like animated Hulk or something? I don't know.
We got some like 2D animation. We got some like MCU world. Like anyone is basically fair game here.
Yeah,
which is cool. Mm-hmm. I like that.
But yeah, and then in the foreground you got a little bit of the ride vehicle in the concept art. It looked suspiciously similar to the Cosmic Rewind vehicle. So
That's what you're thinking too. Yeah.
I don't know if they have room for that there though. I do think because right now where the Quinjet's parked, that building's empty. They're going to use that as the entrance facade, and then it's supposed to extend back, and there's like an employee parking lot back there that they're going to use.
I don't know how much space is there though.
Oh, I don't know. We'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
It's coming anyway.
It is coming.
Which is exciting. It was postulated that they might have canceled this idea of a third ride at Avengers Campus and just keep it kind of small and sell merch, but no, it's good that they're going ahead with this.
I'm glad they're doing this.
It needs
it does. It's a tiny little area, and they really rely on the multi-characters wandering around and stuff like that.
Cool.
Super cool. But yeah, I feel like this is a great way to do it. We didn't hear anything else about DCA. The big news, the surprising news anyways, was San Francisco, and then a little bit about this Avengers e-ticket. And we even said when we were talking about our predictions episode last time, I said we didn't talk about the e-ticket because we figured that was like so far, that was a blue sky thing.
Yeah.
But that one we heard.
They're pushing it forward.
Yeah.
We thought they'd be turning their attention because they just built Avengers Campus. That was the last big project that they did. And
they could hit pause on it for a while.
They're doing Toontown. I thought they would kind of maybe turn their attention back to Disneyland proper.
We thought so. The only thing we really heard about, other than the Bayou Adventure and Mando and Grogu walking around, we heard more about Toontown, which is like well on its way. We saw more about the inside of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We saw a little bit more about like Donald's houseboat and Goofy's apparently really relying on sound, but like very interactive for like the kiddies and stuff.
They're bringing back the interactiveness of Toontown, which is good.
It's excellent.
That's what it's supposed to be for little kids.
Keep the upkeep, and then the problem
maintenance
was a big part of it, and the other problem was like safety things, like the rules changed around what they couldn't do.
Oh, how come?
But yeah, you threw me off.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so just they're playing with it like a little bit more interactive. It kind of looked almost like Red Creek Challenge kind of obstacle-y stuff.
Similar to that, but like more technology and like like around Donald's.
Yep.
There was always a moat around that, but I don't think you could touch the water.
No, it was like you walked.
Now it's like a spray park.
Yep, like a little
cool.
splash zone kind of area, which is good. I think that's a good way to do that. And apparently leads into Goofy's backyard as well. So it's very interactive, that whole area. Totally cool. And that's all we heard about Disneyland proper. What did you think of that? Oh, just that, hey, food, merch, and so on for Disney's 100th is that's
so
it.
They're leaning into this 100th anniversary of the Disney company at the parks, even though it's not really an anniversary for the parks.
No.
So anyway, whatever.
And apparently most of the celebrations are going to be happening at Disneyland, being as it was the original park and so on and so forth. It's Walt's Park,
yeah,
right?
because
so it's the whole thing.
They just had the 50th at Disney World.
Yeah, and it's Epcot's 40th and it's Paris's anniversary. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so
they're going to do it for Disneyland anyway.
Whatever. That's fine. Yeah, I am really concerned about what they're doing with the treehouse now, because
me too.
They're working on it. They didn't say anything about it, so it's probably going to be something
not good.
Something not great.
Yep.
So there's that. And they said zero about Tomorrowland.
Crickets.
Nothing.
And it felt like he was leaning into it a couple times.
Oh,
and then
man, did it ever.
He was talking about a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And then in Disneyland, and we'll talk about Disneyland later. And it built up this, and crickets.
It felt like they were building to something, and then they didn't have that payoff to the build-up. And, yeah, I don't know.
Not even blue sky stuff. Nothing.
It's it's a little disappointing.
Yeah. I was disappointed afterwards, actually. I was really excited, and then, like I said, there was no payoff. Yeah. What did you think about the stuff that was mentioned?
I'm in favor of, like, leaning into Galaxy's Edge not being in a specific time anymore. It seems like they haven't announced that officially, and, like, technically Mando does take place after the original trilogy, so he could technically be walking around in the sequel trilogy timeline.
They're getting looser with the timeline. Let's just say that.
Way as soon as they introduced like new Boba Fett to there, that was like kind of like the first nail in the coffin, and they haven't put the final one in yet, but they'll get there. And I think that's positive, because you tether yourself to a narrative that way for a theme park. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It
doesn't age, and then then you're stuck with old Toontown.
No, Toontown.
But I mean, like, because you can't do anything with it. Yeah. Right.
The Big Hero 6 retheming was like super surprising to me, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, me too.
I like Big Hero 6, and I think that fits there.
Yeah, and Pacific Wharf is just there. It doesn't fit anymore, so like doing something that is a little bit more themed.
I get California Adventure's like really leaning into Pixar, and Big Hero 6 isn't Pixar, but it's Pixar. It feels like Pixar.
And it's right next to
enough.
Avengers Campus. Yeah. It is a superhero movie. It works.
So it's like a good transition between Marvel, because Big Hero 6 is a Marvel property, but it's also animated and feels like a Pixar movie. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's right. It feels like a Pixar movie, even if it isn't, right? I was hopeful for Tomorrowland, even if it was just like
something,
anything, like, and we're looking at possibilities, like just some random comment even would have like helped. Very concerned about no Tarzan's Treehouse.
Yeah, that's
they're working on it. It's not just blocked off. They are working on it.
I don't think it's going to be an attraction anymore.
So
that's what I'm thinking now.
Something that it was going to be maybe. First of all, we heard tons of stuff about that was going to be Encanto. They would have announced that.
And with the fact that they're going to be bringing Encanto to Disney World, like in a big way, I don't think they want a half-butted version.
Maybe.
In Disneyland, so maybe that was changed midway. I don't know. I think it's going to be some sort of like premium fireworks seating or something like that, which is
that's what I'm worried about.
A shame.
It is a shame. This big thing in the middle of a walkway. I don't know. not hopeful anymore about that, let's just say.
Yeah.
And Treehouse wasn't like my favorite thing, but I liked it fine. But I don't, and I'm not even angry about things like, the DVC seating and stuff like that, like, or premium stuff. Okay, all right, I'm fine with that.
If you do it in the right way,
but yeah, you have to do it in the right way. And now I don't know. But no words about that either. So we'll see.
Who knows?
That's just weird that nothing.
I'm thinking that maybe they have all this stuff on the go over in Florida, and they're gonna focus on finishing Toontown, and next D23 they'll turn their attention to Tomorrowland.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
The 100th anniversary will be winding down, and that maybe, I don't know.
And we didn't get a closing date on Splash Mountain for Tiana's. That was the other thing we didn't hear, but we do hear we heard 2024 before, and now we heard late 2024
for when it's going to
Tiana's opening. Yeah. So our theory, again, not confirmed, this is just our hypothesis, is when they close for their annual refurb after the holidays, they'll just stay closed.
In 2024, yeah.
Exactly.
It depends on how long they need.
Well, it looks like a bigger project than I was thinking.
It might be like they might keep it open for next summer.
And then close.
Mm-hmm. And so then you have like basically a full year.
That would be fine. Yeah, I think they could do. Well, again, I don't know what the inside's going to look like though, so who knows, right? Yeah, so that's interesting. Very quickly, some things that we noticed on the poster that we haven't talked about. We noticed there was a Spider-Man. We were like, what the heck? They're not going to announce a Sony property. It's Spider-Man's anniversary. It's its 60th anniversary. Gotcha. So they did a whole bunch of stuff about the art of Spider-Man and things like that. And so that kind of, made that make sense. I'm not sure why Great Gonzo was on there from the Muppets, but we did see stuff for both Muppets Christmas Carol and then Muppets Mayhem. Gonzo's not a part of that, but like maybe they were just like, hey, it's the Muppets.
He might cameo or something.
Exactly,
I don't know.
exactly. Still not sure on Winnie the Pooh or Stitch. Could just be, I don't know. For all we know, could have been some merch or something like that.
Yeah, it could be, I guess.
Spaceship Earth we did hear about. They're doing a lot of like, I don't know, like fixing up basically Epcot. They talked about like some parks and some things like that.
Yeah, that whole center pavilion is getting a rework, and it's kind of in and around that. They might do more projections on Spaceship Earth or something, but whatever. Yeah.
Simpsons Donut, they did do a look at Simpsons panel. Maleficent, I'm wondering if that was actually the pie in the sky villains.
Certainly would fit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where Dumbo came from. I'm not sure where that was on there. Avatar Banshee, there was more about World of Water. I'm also not sure about Eve from WALL-E.
Yeah, there was nothing WALL-E related.
Nothing WALL-E at all.
So I don't know.
I was expecting, you said shorts. I was expecting something about that. Crickets. Nothing. So I don't know. Tron Light Disc we knew about. Oswald, I think, was just part of the history of Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they did do a walk through the 100 Years of Wonder as their focus. So, the Star Circle logo, we weren't really able to figure out. We figured it was a Sheriff Woody's kind of thing. Maybe. No idea. I also didn't hear anything about Kingdom Hearts. We saw the Kingdom Hearts Keyblade was on there.
We did. Maybe there was something in the games panel that we missed.
They kind of did a rundown of the big stuff, and I feel like that would have been a big thing, but I don't know. Grogu, of course, was walking around. We saw that.
Yep.
The Pixar ball, as we figured, was the hotel. And, yep, big check mark on that one. The Encanto candle, they did talk about Encanto, but not for our treehouse like we figured. That's, crickets. The Enchanted Dragon, we did get a trailer for Disenchanted.
Yep.
Which was cool. They did Elliot from Pete's Dragon. They did do a special look at the 50th anniversary of the Main Street Electrical Parade in a side panel.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yep. So that makes sense to me. I'm not sure about Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know about that. But I was thinking Wreck-It Ralph would actually be another really cool use of that tech that they're doing.
That's true. He is the right dimensions for that as well. Where would he appear?
I don't know. Probably Disney World. They're getting all the cool stuff. I'm annoyed. I wanted some more stuff.
That would be something they could put in Tomorrowland.
That is something they could put in Tomorrowland.
He's
Wreck-It Ralph and, breaks the internet.
Yeah.
You could do stuff. Come on, guys. Come on. They had a rundown of a lot of the princesses, the gargoyles. They did announce something with the gargoyles. They're redoing the game, the old game. They're remastering the game.
Never played it.
No, but apparently it was very popular and people have been asking for it. So that's pretty exciting. The book in the window was Winifred, we think, is Winifred's Spellbook from Hocus Pocus 2, which makes sense. There was another trailer. Looks cool. I'm so excited. Indiana Jones, of course, we got the look at 5. The Genie's Lamp. I'm thinking, we didn't hear anything about Genie Plus. I'm thinking it was about the Disney Treasure. I think it was the new cruise ship, right? They even did a close-up on Genie's Lamp.
Yeah, the magic carpet rubbed it.
Yeah.
His wish is to go for a cruise.
Apparently. Fair enough. Fair enough, carpet. Fair enough. Still not sure on the Turning Red statues. Don't know about that at all.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. So
there were some other ones, but those were the
maybe their
marks.
Easter eggs were not quite.
Mine died.
Quite there, so yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe there was things like merch and stuff like that. Like, 'cause they put lots of stuff out there that could have been, who knows, right? Still don't know. A mermaid tail, that makes sense. We did get the little mermaid look, which is what we figured.
But no Luca.
No Luca. Luca and Alberto were in there. No Luca and Alberto.
Maybe they're just part of like the Pixar.
You know what?
Hotel?
That could easily be it.
Yeah.
That could totally be it. Still not sure on the Nautilus. I didn't see anything, except they are doing a bunch of stuff for Paris's 30th anniversary. So maybe there's some stuff tied into that. And Moana's Boat, of course, we got a lot of stuff about that. And we got the Hey Jungle Cruise Part 2. There wasn't like a wide release about that, but there was information and people were excited. So, yeah, so some stuff makes sense. Some stuff is still questionable.
Very questionable.
What did you think overall about all the D23 stuff? Between Marvel and Star Wars and TV and movies and parks.
We didn't get much from Star Wars, which is a bummer.
I was expecting...
Because Marvel dropped everything at Comic-Con, which we figured. They saved
a couple little things for us.
Saved a couple of
which
things.
is what we thought was going to happen, though.
But I thought they'd have more for Star Wars.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
They didn't.
Nope. They gave us Mando and another look at Andor, but I mean, that's right here anyway. And that was basically it. We didn't hear anything about any film or...
No. So, I'm a little concerned for Star Wars.
That's fair.
The Florida park stuff looks pretty sweet.
Yep. Sure does.
Disneyland needs some good news.
Yeah, I think so. I'm hopeful.
After Toontown.
I'm hopeful that, like you said... You know what, though? Toontown was in desperate need of help. They're fixing Toontown, so okay. I guess we'll see after that, right? I'm a little concerned. If nothing else, just the Tarzan's treehouse.
That's nothing. It's gonna be nothing.
That's what makes me concerned.
Yeah.
Okay, but overall, some highs and feels kind of meh.
Yeah. Not that exciting. The parks panel was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not a letdown though. This was episode 99.
99.
This is our 99th
episode. This was
episode.
the Wayne Gretzky of episodes.
Nice Canadian reference. I'm going to high five that one, actually. Anything else to add about any of this stuff?
I want to meet Baby Yoda.
Oh, right. Me too. Me too. Well, starting in November, people. We won't be there in November, but you can. Well, that is our show for this week, episode 99. Thanks, El Mule, who's responsible for the custom theme song you heard at the top of the show. You can find a link to his work, as well as all of our social media links at our website. That is disneya.wixsite.com/podcast, which is also how you can find a link to email us. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. If you've rated or reviewed our podcast, thank you. And if you haven't, you probably should do that because...
You just need to push a button.
Yeah, just push the button.
Just push a button.
Push the button. It's red. It's right there. It might be red. I don't know. It depends on what you're listening to. On YouTube, it's red.
True.
What is it on Apple?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't.
On Spotify, it's green, I think.
I don't use Apple.
But you should, and you should listen to us on there.
Yeah.
And you know what else would be awesome? If you recommended us to other people. 100 episodes. We're almost there. And it'd be really cool if people started listening to our 100th episode, because we're going to do something. It's a surprise. It's a surprise to you, too.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. I thought you had a good idea or something.
I have an idea. I don't know if it's a good idea. I have an idea.
100 awesome reasons to be a Disney fan.
That's essentially what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
It's okay.
100 years of wonder.
100 years of no. That's I feel like that is taken. Yeah. 100 episodes of wonder.
There you go.
Anyway, so you're going to have to tune in next week to figure out what we'll be talking about for our 100th anniversary. But Brandon's pretty close. So I'm Krysta.
And I'm Brandon.
And until that next adventure, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Thanks for listening to Disney A.